Welcome back to the Pickle Pulse, a DC pod here on location at the beautiful House of Pickleball. I've got my man, Todd Mojo Muffley with me.
How's it?
And we're excited to talk to you once again about all things pickle. Todd, what's happening, man?
You know what? I'm sort of distracted right now because I want to go play. I'm like, holy crap.
I get that. And, you know, what's cool is, so the House of Pickleball, the first time I came here, was 6 courts. And, about a year ago?
July.
Yeah. He added 6 more. So there's now 12 courts. We've got 6 in front of us and 6 behind us. And this place is packed. Pickleball is growing. And it's exciting. And the funny thing is we've got like some 4-0s in front of us and a whole lot of 3-0s and 3-5s. Maybe a good game going on over there as well.
Yeah, it's a great day to play inside because it's crappy out.
Yeah.
So they benefit a lot from that here. But they also benefit from, it's one of the things grow because they grow because, you know, people move here. All their friends that they make are playing pickleball.
Yep.
And so, you know, you got in the area, probably 3,000 solid pickleball players.
Okay.
Which to me is just a lot.
Wow.
It just seems like a lot.
Yeah, no, it is. And it's probably growing quickly. And, you know, more and more people are trying every day. And, I mean, I noticed as I came in, a couple of people look like they're just learning the game and just starting out.
Yeah. I bet you they just here alone see 100 or 200 new people a week.
I believe that.
That's just crazy.
Yeah.
You know,
definitely
just crazy, especially when you try to get a court on a rainy day.
Well, you guys are lucky in that at least there are courts to be had because in Virginia, we have 1 6-court indoor facility currently that gets booked up so fast that if you're not a member, you're not getting in.
Investment opportunity.
Yeah, well, there are more coming up. There's a group called Dill Dinkers who have opened 3 facilities all over, and they have like 10 more in plans.
Wow.
So they're aggressively growing and trying to corner that market.
Did you see the one down in Fort Lauderdale that's opening?
The Diadem one?
No, I don't know who's sponsoring it, but it looks like a bigger Pictona.
Okay.
So
sick.
Another 50-some court facility just down the road.
Wow. They'll be hosting some big dog tournaments. That'll be fun.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was just at Pictona. What a beautiful spot.
Yeah, I've never been down there.
You've never been to Pictona? Oh, my God. It's like pickleball heaven.
Yeah. A bunch of my friends were there.
Oh, my gosh. So you got Naples, of course, has the U.S. Open, and they have a great facility. And then, you know, Lakewood Ranch has I think it's called the Reserve or something like that.
Okay.
It's going to be a chain of pickleball clubs. And then, you know, Pictona's got 48, 50 courts.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Well, that is like Mecca for pickleball.
Yeah. And here's the great thing about it is they have 12 covered.
Okay.
So even if it's crappy outside, you can still go play, but nothing like this.
No, this is, I mean, I've been to a bunch of facilities and the lighting is one of the best here.
Yeah.
And I love that they have the little chill area here in between the 6 courts.
Yes.
So it's very thought out.
The lighting actually here, because it used to be downward lighting and you have lots of shadows and dead areas, like court 6, nobody want to play against the wall on court 6 because it's just like dark.
Okay.
And now they got with a lighting expert and they flip these up to, you know, do the reflection off of the white ceiling. And it's like playing a PGA golf course is how I describe it here.
Okay.
Which actually isn't really good if you're going to be a tournament player because you go outside and you got the elements to fend with.
Well, that's an interesting thing in that I played a lot for about a year indoors, and then I moved outdoors again, and everything felt weird. It felt off. I'm like, wait, all my drops aren't going in. The wind's pushing it one way, or I'm super pissed.
And I used to play here specifically just because it was so nice. But then when I started playing in a lot of tournaments, inside I do great. Outside, I wouldn't do as great. Yeah. And so this is more of a treat now. I usually just play outside and come here, you know.
Okay.
It's like, you know, you don't want to drop good money to play a good golf course all the time.
Okay.
So that's how I think about it.
So last time I was in town, I played at Legion Stadium. Are you playing over there a little bit?
Yeah. And there again, for as many people that play pickleball here, Wilmington doesn't have a lot of good outdoor pickleball courts, dedicated courts.
Yeah. I found some in Castle Hayne.
Yep.
And I found the Legion Stadium courts. Where else are they around here? Do you know?
Well, Arrowhead Stadium, Arrowhead Park's got, I think, 4 courts that are dedicated. Castle Hayne has 6.
Okay.
But then Legion, MLK, Greenfield Lake Park.
Wrightsville Beach has got some.
Wrightsville Beach has some, but the problem is
Uh-oh.
people who play tennis, I think, are building pickleball courts. I don't know what the hell they're doing. Like there's like 2.5 feet between the courts,
Oh, no.
which is horrible. They're right on the beach, which I don't know people from Wilmington, but it's always windy here.
Yeah.
You know, so you go to Wrightsville Beach, it's blowing 15. That's nice.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to really want to play there. And the worst thing about it is the parking.
Okay.
Wrightsville Beach makes most of their money for the town from parking. So you're talking $5 an hour.
And giving me tickets when I'm there.
Yeah, that's their favorite pastime.
A
So
$50 ticket. Be wary
there
of
you
the
go.
parking people. It's
Exactly.
unreal.
So it's like, why fight the traffic? And you know, so this is a great option.
Okay.
A lot of times.
It's on the other side of the river too. So if you're like the Leland, so House of Pickleball is in Leland, North Carolina, even though it's just outside of Wilmington, which is the basic vicinity if you're around.
And you get a lot of people who like to play outside, which is great. But this, you know, you want to play in a great pickleball facility. This is it.
Yeah.
This is it.
I like it. So you're not from around here, Todd. I didn't meet you until 2021 when I came through for a 4.0 plus drop-in.
Yep.
Get to play with all the boys here.
Yeah.
So where are you from, and how did you find your way to Wilmington?
Actually from Indiana, so I'm a Hoosier, so don't hold that against me.
Okay.
But I came here after I sold a business and was a racquetball player. And so, you know, maybe my wife thinks about these things, but, you know, I'm moving here and I'm like, all right, I'm ready to play racquetball. Just sold my business. I'm going to get serious into racquetball, more serious. I was a B-level player. And so I get here, there's no racquetball courts. Not a single racquetball court in Wilmington.
Are you kidding me?
No, the guy on court 8 over there in the blue,
Okay.
he's actually like in the North Carolina Hall of Fame for racquetball. And
I've heard about this guy.
Yeah.
Actually, my dad's buddy was talking to me in the garage this morning, and he says my buddy used to be like a top racquetball, and he's now obsessed with pickleball.
yeah, super nice guy, but the court's burned down. And so when I got here, you know, I didn't want to go back to tennis because, you know, serving just hurt my shoulder too bad and couldn't play racquetball. So I made a friend and they're like, hey, you ever play pickleball? And I'm like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. So I actually came here when they just had 6 courts.
Okay.
And started playing and jumped in at the 3-5 level and won everything in 2019 and 2020 that I could at 3-5, and then jumped up to the 4.0. And I'm about, I think my duper's 4.25. It took a little bit of a hit last month at Pictona.
So,
I was almost 4.4. I had it in my grasp, and then it's like the pickleball gods took it away from me.
well,
like,
that's what all my buddies at home make fun of me because my goal last year was to get to 5.0.
yeah,
And like duper 5.01, 5.00, doesn't matter.
yeah.
And I've been 4.6, 4.7. I got up to 4.92 at one point.
Screenshot that shit and just show people.
That's I have a couple friends that do that.
Yeah. I got a guy who won't play duper because he got to 4.8. And he's like, oh, I'm done. And he
Wow.
doesn't play in tournaments or anything, so he just wants to walk around with that in his pocket.
Yeah.
You know, which to me, pickleball ratings are probably the biggest shit show in rec pickleball right now, just because the number can be manipulated so bad. And you go to like one of the good players here in our area is Steven Scala.
Okay.
You know, you can Google it or go to Duper and look at his rating.
He's a legit 5.0.
Oh, legit 5.0, singles and doubles.
Yeah.
Played 3-5 in Dallas at the Nationals
No.
and got beat. He
What?
he went 2-2 at Nationals at 3-5 singles
Wow.
and got beat.
That's insane.
Yeah, so that tells you the state of the rating system in pickleball right now, how shitty it is.
Well, I know Nationals is really bad in that everyone plays down because they want to get their golden ticket.
Yep.
But 5.0s playing 3.5s?
Exactly.
I mean, I hadn't heard that.
Well, then you got to think, why was he doing it?
Yeah.
Because
Agreed.
his USAPA rating that's what it was. But hundreds of people probably did that, you know?
Oh,
so,
they had to have.
But
I've played with Steve he is legit. Protect yourself when you're playing with Steve because he's coming after you.
Oh yeah, and and he's young. I hate to say that, because that makes you old, but he's young. He's in his low 20s, but I think it'd be an interesting thing to try to figure out an area rating system, like a 4.0. Because you travel, so you get to play with guys in Virginia, and then you come here, so you get to see what a 4.0 looks like in Virginia versus what a 4.0 looks like in Wilmington.
Yeah.
I see the disparity because I travel.
I don't think I've met any 4 or 5 plus in Wilmington other than Steve Scala, though.
Well, they have a new group.
No.
They call themselves the 4 or 5 plus group.
Okay. No, actually, I've played with Jason Swain and Steve Scala. Like that Legion crew is like pretty legit 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, most of them.
And quite honestly, that's getting younger too. And so what's a 4 or 5 24-year-old versus a 4 or 5 55-year-old?
Well, this is a good conversation because I've had it with multiple people in that do you take the age into account and make the older guys lower level? Because you're right, a 23-year-old 4 or 5 is way different than a 50-year-old 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Way different. And if those 50-year-old guys are getting bunched in together with them, they're getting smoked for the most part because the movement isn't there.
Yeah, I played, so I teach, and so I'm over at the MLK teaching, and these young kids had a court next to me, shirts off, out there just running around in their 20s, 120 pounds wet. And I just got done coaching. And so I was like, man, I want to play. So I said, hey, any of you young bucks want to play singles? Without hesitation, 21-year-old surfer boy goes, I'll play. I'm like, I'm fucked. Dude, he comes over. He goes, well, I don't really play singles. I'm like, you'll catch on real fast. So I beat him 12-10. Okay. Now I'm 4-0 singles, legit 4-0 singles. I told him 5 pointers. Beat me 11-9 the next game.
Wow. Yeah.
And he doesn't play singles.
Well, in singles, the movement aspect. So, like my partner, Broker, I used to be able to stay pretty close with him a year and a half ago. But his ability to play pickleball has grown.
Yeah.
And his athletic ability is so far beyond mine that he gets to everything. And it's so frustrating when you feel like you just hit a winner and it comes back again.
I literally hit a shot and turned around because it was a stone cold winner, and all of a sudden you hear this sliding across the court, and he got it, and I'm like, "Are you kidding me?"
Wow!
I like get this one and go across the other way, but it's good for pickleball that is getting younger. Somebody has to figure out the rating system. I mean, look at golf, right? So you can go out and golf with somebody and have parity because of a handicap.
True, and the handicap's pretty solid, no matter what your age is.
And you can still manipulate it. You can still, but if you're honest with yourself and you go out and play, in a tournament, it's going to have parity because of the handicap.
Yeah,
pickleball doesn't have that. It still feels like the Wild West.
No, so let's circle back a little bit. I met you in 2021 here.
Yep.
You had been playing for what, a year at that point?
I started, my first tournament was 2019. So I started in October of 18.
Okay.
So
so a couple of years.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because you were like the guy.
I was
when
the
I
guy
came here. You were the guy here.
Yeah, I was up there. I was probably the guy because I was playing people that were the guy at one time. And then, I was the young guy coming in to play against them.
Okay.
So that's how I got to be the guy. Now other people are the guy because they're coming in and playing the old guys.
Yeah. Well, it's funny too, like as a 43-year-old player.
You're 43?
I'm 43.
Wow.
And so I've been playing for 3 years, and it's really tough to play with the 20-year-olds and whip them. But then 6 months later, they're at the same level you are. And I've been grinding for years trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
But the athletic ability, and you're right, there's a younger crowd coming in. And I think that the pro level pickleball is going to get so entertaining and so fun in the next year or two. And that you have guys that are legitimately being professional about it, training, practicing every day, working on fun shots.
Well, you got the tennis players who aren't that good coming over to play pickleball too.
Yeah. Well, they're going to get worked. We'll see.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? I love pickleball. It's a very welcoming sport. It, part of my ethos is play with anybody.
Yeah. Yeah,
you know,
I try to do that too, but when the level is so disparaging and different that it's tough and not as fun.
Yeah.
But I try not to be that guy.
Yes, because I don't want people to be that guy to me. So sort of, put good karma back out in the world. And, quite honestly, you'd be surprised at how many people thank me for that. Because I think they are put into niches and groups, and it's hard to break in when you got a solid 8 or solid 12 that play once a week.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
That's true. But if you're playing once a week, your top level, I probably 4 or 5, maybe if you're really talented.
Yeah.
Because it's pickleball is consistency.
Yeah.
You got to be able to get it back over the net. You got to be able to dig and reset.
Well, I playing in all these tournaments. So I played in 74 tournaments since 2019.
Okay.
One thing that I enjoy about tournament play is seeing other people's shots and the way that they move in person, right? I mean, anybody can watch the pros, but if you go see the pros, it's like watching NBA basketball.
Mm-hmm.
You see 10 guys on the court and they're like, man, it's not the same as being on the court playing with these monsters.
Yeah.
And it's, I sat down next to Riley Newman about, I don't even know what tournament it was, 6 months ago.
He's like 6'3" in person.
Oh my God.
He's a bigger guy than you think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when they're all big on the court, you don't really grasp it until you see it in person,
mm-hmm.
And then you're like, you sit there and watch Ben Johns, in the lower rounds, sort of just playing like it's a rec pickup game. And I'm like, dude,
doesn't even take his sweatpants off.
Yeah, but Riley Newman did say this. So I was sitting on a bench when they called timeout. He would sit in front of me, and so it was. They were playing a mixed match, but after the match and he won. I'm not a fanboy, so I don't. He puts his pants on just like me, except they're longer.
Yeah.
But I did overhear him say to somebody that the lower rounds are getting harder. He goes, before, a year ago, I used to walk into a tournament, and this is him talking. I used to walk into a tournament and not sweat the first 2 or 3 rounds.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, now I take nothing for granted. And that right there, hearing that was really sort of cool to hear somebody in pickleball say, this is how competitive it's getting.
Oh, yeah. I mean, even in our area, we've got a handful of guys that aren't 6'0" yet, but they're 5'9", and they're getting close and they're putting in the work.
Yeah.
I think that the gap is going to narrow a little bit with the new players coming in, but also the level is going to go up, which means me getting to my 5'0", I got to get there and screenshot it soon.
Yeah, you got to do that. And then you have to ask yourself this, what are you going to do with it?
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to be a tournament player? Are you going to just try to, just better yourself, which is always fine. But I've had to watch out.
Nice catch.
Thank you.
Let's go.
I should have kept the ball.
Let's go. Give that fan a contract.
that couldn't be any better. But it's like, why? Like, why do I have a ball machine? Why do I go train?
Mm-hmm.
Why, you see people have the rec hat on, and then you see people have the I'm training for something hat on, and then you have the people like, no, I'm going to be a pro.
Yeah.
So you sort of have the 3 buckets. So I'm in the middle bucket.
Okay.
I'm like, I train. Why? Well, I just want to get better. I want to learn new stuff. I want to try new things. But at the end of the day,
Well, you're a guy that's had success in business.
Yep.
And probably success outside of business in life. And so I'm in the middle bucket too.
Yeah.
And I want to get better every day. I've built a sales book of custom clothing and clients to go see. And that was really fun. And now it seems like the challenge is to just get better so that I can continue to play with the younger guys.
Right. So they don't pass you.
That's exactly right. But also just better myself, get good exercise. Like I used to be a treadmill warrior.
Ooh.
And it's just so awful.
Yeah. I ran 2 marathons in one day.
That's 2 more than I've ever done.
Yeah. It was my first and last. But I can only tell that joke once. But I literally ran half marathons on treadmills, and that's just crazy.
It's just brutal.
Yeah.
It's
so
just brutal.
and I don't know, do you kid yourself and say this is good exercise? Well, go outside and when it's 90 degrees and play for 4 hours and then tell me if you think it's good exercise.
Well, I'll disagree with you. Come right here in this beautiful
that's true
facility
too.
and play for 3 hours. And I'll tell you that if you're playing right and bending your knees and playing at a high level, your legs, your ass, everything is hurting at the end of the night.
That is true. And the older you get, the worse it gets. So.
And you're keeping, as far as like fat burning, you're keeping your heart rate at that like 130 to 150 the whole time. Versus, you're running a marathon, you're 160, 170. You're really endurance training more so than fat burning.
Yeah, and this is much more fun. So
way more fun.
Way more fun.
I mean, body bag and Betty Joe is super fun.
I live for that. Oh my.
Yes.
It's so nice just to sit here and do this podcast while watching people play pickleball. Except for that, it was way too big a swing.
Yep.
Way too big a swing.
But I will say the power air is the loudest on the court for sure. That is a loud paddle.
No one's playing with the Black Ace. That one, and the Gearbox rival that as far as the cannon sound coming out of it.
What is your thought on the new Gearbox cannon? That's what they should have named this daggum paddle.
I haven't played with it. I held it.
Have you played against it?
No.
Oh, okay. So, it takes a minute to get used to. It's such a rocket ship. The ball like trampolines off of it. And so there's 2 guys in our area that have basically decided they're going to play with this paddle, and they've worked on it, and they play well. But their putaways at the net, at the kitchen line, it's just the ball's coming 70 miles, 80 miles an hour off this paddle.
I saw a guy do a study, and I say study, he had a camera on YouTube, but it was a slow frame, right? And he showed a pro hitting a ball, and the reaction time off the paddle for 14 feet was 0.3 seconds.
Okay.
With that paddle, it was 0.2 seconds.
Wow.
It doesn't sound like a lot, but that 33% less reaction time really is an advantage.
Absolutely.
So,
Well, and especially on counters where you're not doing anything but a little punch or
exactly.
If it's coming off, it does give you a huge advantage.
Yeah. I sell ProKennex. I sponsor, I'm not sponsored by ProKennex, but I could be if they call me. But I literally sell, $10,000-$12,000 of paddles a year, of ProKennex paddles. And
a lot of guys in Wilmington play with that.
Because I'm a good salesperson. Yeah. Well, I had, honestly, I had tennis elbow. And so when I started playing, I'm from Indiana, Paddle Tech's in Niles, Michigan.
Okay.
So my sister said, you should buy a Paddle Tech. I'm like, what the hell do I know, right? So I get a Paddle Tech, and I start playing with it, and then my tennis elbow is just flaring up. And so a guy here, Ken, they call him Buffalo, you know him. Mm-hmm. He was trying the ProKennex, and he said it's good for tennis elbow. So I tried it, and my tennis elbow went away.
Okay.
And I'm like, well, it's the one I was using was 7.7.
That's so light.
Is it really?
Yes.
Okay. Well,
most guys are playing with like an 8.1 to 8.4.
Well,
maybe
and the Black Ace is 8.0.
Yeah.
And then people I see put tape on that. I don't, because as you get older, you see these people playing. To me, my competitive edge isn't hitting it harder against them. It's hitting a sharper angle against them.
And using a lot of spin.
Yeah.
When I play with you, you have a lot of top spin on your ball.
Which, in the 4.0 level, it can get you something.
Oh, yeah.
But remember when we used to do the spin serve?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
I had a good one.
I know.
I would say I miss it other than playing against Steve Scala and his.
Exactly.
I was like, it's not fun when you can barely hit the ball back.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and when I teach pickleball, I always tell my students, in is better than out, deep is better than short. So when we're trying to serve the ball, you got to go deep, right? Because it just sets up everything for you as the server. And I always tell them, miss 10%.
Yeah, it's okay.
If you're missing them deep, miss 10%, because it's that much of an advantage.
Yeah, as long as you're getting those shorter returns from it.
Yes.
If you're getting the advantage from it, yes.
Yes.
But
yeah.
I digress.
So I actually, just like that right there. See, you hit it in the net and you're not going to get anything. So the net's your enemy, buddy.
Yeah.
Try again.
Get your thirds and your fifths over.
Yeah. I love it. Oh my God. They just went double out. Nobody saw that. The worst thing, he's disgusted with himself.
So tell me, you have the best shirt in pickleball, in my opinion.
Thank you.
Okay.
I think I do too.
I have 3 of them now. And everywhere I go, actually I have 4 of them, 1 long sleeve. And everywhere I go and I wear them, I get crazy compliments on where did you get that shirt?
Yeah.
How did you get that shirt? And so it's mojopickleball.com
Yep.
is your spot.
Yeah.
And how did you get the idea for that? Did it just like pop in your brain one day
Well,
as you were wearing your Adidas shoes?
Actually, I don't wear Adidas shoes. I wear A6. Guy took one in the nutsack there. He saw that. And he caught it. That's interesting. I looked around and there was no good pickleball clothes for guys.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, well, this sucks.
I agree.
And I literally have 0 experience in brand and clothing. Now, I own a marketing agency and I understand brand and, all that fun stuff. But as far as clothing goes, so I just watched copious amounts of YouTube channels, how to make your own t-shirts,
mm-hmm.
how to build your pickleball or how to build your own brand. And so I just incorporated Mojo Pickleball.
Okay.
So that's my moniker. When I go to tournaments, you'll hear Mojo Muffley, or my students call me Mojo.
Yep.
And so mojopickleball.com was just where I sold t-shirts, but now you can see I got videos and I do my coaching scheduling and what there. But literally buying shirts and putting cool things on them that I would want to wear is how it started.
Yeah.
I didn't give a rat's ass about what Bob wanted.
Mm-hmm.
It was about what I would wear. So I found the best shirt and I put my stuff on it that I like,
uh-huh.
and I would wear it around and people would be like, oh, I want that. Oh, make me one.
Yeah.
And from there, it just grew.
And I think I got my first one when you hosted a tournament here.
Yeah.
You were the host of that tournament.
Yep.
And we played together.
Yep.
It didn't end up very well for us in the end.
No.
We were
It was fun.
we were the number 1 rated team out of the pool play.
Yeah.
And then somehow shit the bed.
Yeah. Well, that happens a lot.
And we lost to Richard, who owns
Don't
the place.
remind him
and
of
he's
that.
100 years old. Here.
Yeah. He had wisdom.
Yeah, a lot of wisdom.
Lots of wisdom. But right now I just dropped Angry Tiki. I got Flying Tiki,
mm-hmm.
and then I have a new one called Average Pickleball.
I like that one
Yeah,
too. I saw it on the website.
I sold my first one over Christmas.
Okay.
There again, just stuff. I do stuff that I would want to wear.
But everyone asks me, where do I get the Addict shirt?
Yeah.
The Addict shirt's got to be your top seller.
It
by,
is
like,
definitely my
far.
top seller.
It's
So
so good.
trying out the new Hawaiian hat. We're about ready to launch a brand for the Hawaiian. I got 4 different style of hats.
Oh, nice.
Starting to do. I always do stuff that I like, right? So starting a line of hoodies.
Okay.
That I can't really say anything about it right now. I'll just say
I'll say that I got my new for Christmas. I got my
Nice.
DC pickleball hoodie.
There you go.
Repping the crew.
I
I'm
like
very
it.
excited about MLP and hopefully, having different cities having legitimate followings to pickleball teams.
Yes.
That'll be cool.
That would be cool.
But back to your hoodie.
Oh, so it's going to be a hoodie like you haven't ever seen.
Okay.
So it's going to be cool. The premise is anybody can buy something off the shelf, and these are all custom made. So there's not one that's like another. So I'll leave it at that for now, but
Okay.
it's going to be one off.
Very cool.
So when you have it, it's yours. Nobody else has that
and so
design.
you found a manufacturer that's going to make these for you the way, wow, I'm getting hit with pickleball. There you go.
I found the manufacturer. His name's Todd, Mojo Muffley.
Oh, you're
It's,
the guy. You're sewing in your basement. It's beautiful.
I am sewing. Yeah, don't get in that. It's like when you do a podcast. How do you learn to do it? You do it. And if I'm a firm believer, if you don't know how to do it and you take it to somebody else, what do they do?
Yeah.
How do you know they're doing the way you want it done?
It's true.
And so I just bite the bullet and I guess I go learn it. I do it. You invest in the equipment, and then I'll probably outsource it if it gets big.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not what I'm looking for. I get a rush when somebody buys my shirt and they just say they love it.
Okay.
I don't have to sell 10,000 of them to get that rush.
No.
I can sell one and still get the same rush.
Well, I hope that the referrals I've given you have actually gone and bought the shirts from your website, because I'm telling you, I've probably referred 50 people.
Wow.
And from Texas to Florida to Tennessee
Wow.
to here. And it's just like everywhere I wear the shirt, people are like, where can I get one?
Yeah, I did. I just got an order from California. My wife's like, oh, how'd they hear about you in California? I go, I have no clue.
No clue.
Because I'm not marketing it right now.
Mhm.
It's just
Well,
it's
and
homegrown.
Michelle Spar, my friend up in Virginia, is a huge Mojo fan.
Yeah.
She's got a couple of your shirts.
She
as well.
does have a couple of them. And it's funny, she wore one on the court one day, and then
Did you see her in Pictona? She was down there. Yeah.
No.
She was with the big crew down there.
I did have a hoodie on, and this is an honest to God story. So I'm walking down vendor row, exhibit alley, they call it, and there's a company there that's got okay stuff, but it's how do I want to say it? I think they're thinking about people and what they buy from a bad experience. Like, who wears polo shirts when they play pickleball?
Hardly anyone.
Right. And that's what they were selling.
All-Toff merchant.
Right. And I'm like, you know, you may get a pro to wear it and you may look good on, you know, television when you're doing it, but for the masses, I mean, this looks like we could be at a Gold's Gym.
For sure.
As far as what people think about when they wear stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, I'm walking down this and like, you see a couple different vendors have some stuff, and it's the play on pickleball. It's, you know, Dill Life, and it's just stuff I wouldn't wear, right?
That's my biggest beef with all the clothing out there. Exactly right. It's like you don't have to have a pickle in every one of your shirts.
Right.
Yeah.
Or make fun of it.
It's not good.
Yeah.
It's not good.
So I'm walking down, and I just passed Pickleball Rocks on the left-hand side. They're the last big double tent. And so
you gave him $40,000.
I was going to give him 50 because I'm like 13%. No, no, I didn't do that.
For a different day. If you don't know about Pickleball Rocks, actually, I'll say it on here. That guy is stealing people's money, and do not give him money.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because I just 2 weeks ago when I met him down there, he asked me for money, and not in an aggressive way, just in a hey, we're still taking investors. And I didn't know about it.
Yeah. And then I just heard it on King of the Court that he's taken close to $1 million, if not more, of people's money.
Yeah.
And now ghosts most of them.
Yeah.
Doesn't call back, doesn't email back.
How does he go to an event?
I don't know. That's a good question.
He tracking down in an event.
It's kind of wild.
Yeah.
That's why I was surprised to hear that you saw him at Pictona.
Yeah.
It's like he's still out in the open.
And he's still asking for money.
It's crazy.
Yeah. And here's the thing is like, I didn't know any of that, and I got home and I was talking to my sister, and she was like, "What are you doing? Haven't you heard?" I'm like, no, "I'm not in the pickleball, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not like a fanboy, like, you know, people who watch pickleball on YouTube every waking minute of the day." But my sister said, and she showed me, this lady brought the receipts to Facebook, and there was 40 people that have been taken.
Yeah.
And that's just
between $20,000 and $50,000.
Yeah.
With this, I mean, pretty legit.
So just remember, if it's too good to be true, it's too good to be true.
Yeah.
Yeah. No one's giving you 13%. It's not a Ponzi scheme.
All right. So we've got about 10 more minutes, 12 more minutes to keep this in our like 45-minute window.
Very nice.
Not because you're not a great guest. You're a fantastic guest.
I love that. Thank you.
But I asked you about what is your take on pro pickleball these days, and the tours merging and all the things, and just kind of wanted to hear your thoughts on where you think 2024 will bring pro pickleball and pickleball in general.
Well, I'm probably going to do it probably differently than most people who'd be sitting here because I'm sort of not in the know.
Okay.
But from a person who goes and pays to play in these tournaments, you know, thousands of dollars, the PPA puts on a shit tournament compared to the APP.
Agreed.
So if you're a rec player and you want to get into tournaments, I would steer people to the APP
all day.
So from that perspective, I don't want to dog. I like the MLP format, and I think that could be a great embodiment of bringing groups of people together that want to do leagues and want to, you know, see how far they can go on a local or regional level without being a pro. Yeah. So I think that's probably going to be where the future lies for rec players like me that are also tournament players that know that they can never compete in the pro division. I think having an MLP team like be a Duper 16 or Duper 18 and going to compete with these groups. I could see that. And I haven't done that yet.
Yeah.
We're actually talking about starting a league here for 3-0s, 3-5s, and 4-0s, where we actually implement that and just try it
Everyone
out.
will have a total blast.
Yeah.
So I've played 2 like MLP style events, and number one, I love playing rally scoring.
Yeah.
And I didn't think I would at all. My initial take was I want to keep pickleball pure, the way it's supposed to be. But it's fun.
Yeah.
And even if I'm playing against a guy that's a 5'5" or a 5'3", I can have that still be close and somewhat fun for him.
Yeah.
Give him a tiny little sweat versus playing in the traditional format where they're going to beat me 11-1, 11-2.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I like that. I think that's going to be a good thing. And there again, if it's too good to be true, it probably isn't. So these people that are pro pickleball players getting handed huge checks, and then what backs that up?
Well, that's what they're freaking out about right now.
Right.
Basically, the guys who own the league are being asked to pony up.
Right. And I just don't see that being sustainable.
No.
So pro pickleball has its place, and I think it's good to introduce the sport on a nationwide basis. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, if all pro pickleball players were in an airplane crash, it wouldn't change anything about life.
Yeah.
You know, I just don't see it as a driving force in pickleball.
I would be sad though, Todd. I'd be sad.
Well, you could be sad. I might be sad, but I don't know if I would be.
I mean, there are some of the guys out there that I really like.
Yeah.
I haven't met them. A handful I have. Cal Yates I'd be really sad about. He's my boy.
Yeah, I like Tyson McGuffin.
Yeah.
So, but I just think for the normal, average, everyday player, if we did a survey right here, right now, name outside of Ben Johns and Anna Lee, name 2 pro pickleball players. I bet you 60% of the people would be like, I don't know.
Oh, I was going to say like 15% would know. So you're
going
higher.
I'm
like
generous.
80, 85.
Yeah, well, I know some of the people here. So there at least just some of these people would. But I don't think a majority would know. So I think sometimes people eat their own dog food a little too much. Mm-hmm. And I think that's where professional pickleball's at. I think they're a little bit over the tip of their skis. I think they think they're more than they are. Yeah. And I think that whip is now coming back to backlash them, and this is the fallout of it.
So you're a tour player. You signed a $500,000 contract.
Yep.
Because I think on average they're probably like around $300,000 because some guys are getting paid millions.
Right.
So you sign a $500,000, but to sustain the league, we want you to give 40% of that contract you just signed back before you even get paid the first check.
Right.
How do you feel about that?
Well, let me ask you this: what can you feel about it? Where are you going to go and get 40 or 60% of $500,000?
Yeah.
Who else is going to pay you that?
Well, I think there's 2 trains of thought. There's one that says, hey, we legally signed this and you're going to pay me, right?
Right.
For the next 3 years, no matter what.
Right.
And then my pickleball career is basically over.
Right.
You're signing it because they're not going to allow you to play.
Right.
If you're being a dick. Or you can just take the cut and hope to make up the rest in sponsorship, like teaching, however pros make their money.
Right. And that would probably, having a sponsorship at certain levels, I think it would be financially beneficial. But I bet you outside of the top, let's just go men for a second. Outside of the top 20 men, I don't think people are getting sponsored at a level that makes them be able to sustain a pickleball living full time.
Agreed.
So, you look at that and then you say to yourself, okay, so you got a $500,000 contract. We want 40% of that back. So now you're going to get $300,000 to play pickleball.
Yeah. Still pretty good.
You probably still go play pickleball.
For sure.
Right.
For sure. And I still think what I feel bad for is the lower level MLP, the up and comers for the challenger guys, who probably signed like 60 or 80,000, and now they're making what you.
Hey, we got enough money to go play.
And I get a lot of those players are really young, but at the same time, like, make sure that the guys that have the ability to go pro and you sign because you see an ability in them, have enough money to train and do what they need to do to be a professional.
We Mojo Pickleball was sponsoring. We met a kid in Pictona. We were sponsoring. My wife and I sponsored a kid who was an up and coming 5-0 player.
Okay.
And all that meant was he wore our clothing.
Okay.
And we paid for his tournament entry fees.
Sweet.
he's a college student.
That's great.
So you got Mojo Pickleball sponsoring an athlete, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, he started getting good. Guess who gets the call? Hey, Mojo, I got another sponsorship opportunity.
Oh,
and not only did they want him to wear their clothing, but they were going to pay him a per diem.
Okay.
Not only pay for his tournaments, not only here's clothing, but now we're going to pay you $500 a month.
Okay.
And I said, dude, how can you pass that up? You know, I'm
Yeah,
not a dick. I'm going to let him out of the contract because contract, you know, what is that? But, you know, good for him.
Yeah.
But how sustainable is that for their company?
Yeah, true. Well, it depends on how deep the pockets are, right? And
Exactly.
what's going.
Exactly. We'll talk about that off air. Remind me to tell you how much these people, I tell you on air. So these people, I won't tell you who they are.
Okay.
They're starting a pickleball brand in Florida. 3 guys, $600,000 they put into it for a clothing brand.
Ooh.
A clothing brand.
That's pretty risky. They must have deep pockets.
Deep pockets, love pickleball. I don't know, you know,
Well,
they're doing something different than you and I.
I think a lot of the billionaires, these millionaires out there who invest in an MLP have this love and this vision of pickleball, but is it going to come to fruition?
Right.
Because at this point, I know they didn't make any money last year.
Right.
And are they going to make money this year? Probably not.
No.
Not with what they're paying. And they also have to pay for the events. So where is the monetization of it? Are they
Comes from you and I going to watch them at the events.
or ESPN airing it?
Exactly.
If they sign some sort of big deal. But we haven't heard about that yet.
No. And there again, I don't know if you took the average pickleball player in, let's just say Wilmington, there's 3,000-4,000 pickleball players. How many of those people watch or would watch it on TV?
Yeah.
You know,
That's true.
it's like I love going to the gym. I don't, but some people like going to the gym, right? And some people love working out. My wife loves working out. Does she watch CrossFit competitions on TV? Does she watch Mr. Universe on TV? The answer to that is no.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't translate to all people. And that's why I really think for the majority of this pro pickleball thing, they're eating their own dog food. They think they're more than they think they are. And now it's coming back to bite them. It's like, well, crap, where are all the people at? Well, they're out playing damn pickleball. They don't want to sit there and watch pros all day play. They want to go play.
Well, and that's true. And I would agree. Like, I've been to a couple of APPs, been to a couple of PPAs. It's cool to see the pros play, but I'm really fired up about my 4-5, 35-plus bracket.
Exactly.
And trying to win.
Yeah. And, like, I love golf. I love watching golf. I'm like the guy who watches the U.S. Open every year, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm also the guy that would go pay to watch golf because the separation between me and not even Tiger Woods, pick anybody on the tour. The separation between me and them is so astonishing. Like when they hit a ball, I can never aspire to hit a ball like that. I can do an ATP.
Mm-hmm.
I can jump an Ernie.
Yeah.
You know. Now, do I have Ben's consistency? Hell no. Do I have Ben's footwork? Hell no. Do I have Ben's stamina? Hell no. But for some reason, it doesn't translate in my brain that awe of watching him on the court isn't like watching a Tiger Woods.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because most people can't go out and ever shoot a 72.
Yeah.
It's like,
No.
you know.
I've played golf for 25 years. My best round is like a 75.
Right. Right. Yeah. And you probably cheated. And but most people.
I'm editing that out.
But most people have the ability to see themselves playing pickleball like a Ben Johns.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just don't see people going to, on the long term, paying for it.
Well, the funny thing is it's there's too much nuance in the game, the high level game of pickleball, and that if you don't play, you don't appreciate how they move around the dinks at the line and move people. You don't
What's
realize.
a dink? What's dinking?
Yeah, that tiny little shot. It's like, is that really cool? Is that what they do?
Exactly.
And they don't realize that a speed up, a flick at you is coming so fast and it's hard.
Right.
So until the game gets uglier, messier, where you have these scramble points all over the place all the time, it's going to be really hard for people who don't play pickleball to be excited about watching
Exactly.
pickleball.
And the court, you can tell, and I wonder if this will ever happen, but it would seem to be a logical progression, is making the court 4 foot wider.
Okay.
Think about what that does to the game. If right now you take Ben Johns and he could beat any 2 people on a court in this pickleball facility right now.
Easily.
Easily.
I've seen it, actually.
But what if the court was 4 foot wider?
That'd be a little different.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right now, you get 2 of these guys that are on the court that are 6'4", 6'5", with wingspans that go off the court.
Mm-hmm.
What if it was a little bit wider? What would happen?
Wow. Would that then favor the super tall tennis guys who want to transfer over and they just have more reach?
I think we already have that.
Yeah.
I think what it does is I think it'll give the women to play a little bit more of the court.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think it will open up more shots to more people. Now, will it ever happen? Probably not. But if I was king of the world, think of what that would do for the...
If you were king of the world, Todd, it'd be a fun world.
If I was king of the world, man, watch out. Everybody be wearing angry tiki.
But dude, I really appreciate you sitting down. It's been a fun conversation.
Oh, it's been a blast. Thanks for having me. And thanks for doing it here. I just love watching, play pickleball while we're talking about it.
Well, the cool thing is this place has been such a godsend for me, and that my parents live 4 minutes down the road, 5 minutes down the road.
That's a bonus.
And to be able to come and have a facility to play pickleball in, and also to be able to meet high-level players down here has been really cool.
Yeah, if you ever see a high-level player, we'll get one to come over.
Yeah. So if you've been enjoying this, you can find us at The Pickle Pulse on YouTube. If you're watching it, you probably already know that. But like and subscribe. Peace.